is now Raila the one running government, and now William Ruto has stepped into opposition? That question needs to be answered. You know, Baba thought that maybe people would forgive William, that he can salvage him. Yeah? Baba even took the only life jacket he had, the only one, and gave it to William Ruto.
Yeah.
Now Baba has no life jacket.
So Baba...
say this, Mzee, wait, Mzee, and let me refer to myself. Wait, Mzee, Baba, Babu, Baba, Babu. We've been asking him to stop this bad behavior and you have refused. So you're asking me dynamics. There are no dynamics, Jed. This is a one-man guitar band. I came in as a mortician. I'm about to complete my job.
You're saying what you're saying?
Yes.
You're saying what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm about to complete my job. We must come up with a new outfit that has been approved by the Kenyan people. Machali wa mtaa, machali wa nai, hapa nai, 20K per day. 20K, kila mtu 20. What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house, this is not Sogoi. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post-Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
A very good day to you and welcome to Philip Kisia Unscripted. My name is Jadiel Kabiro. I'm so glad that you've joined us once again for this conversations that we hope will help our political leaders in making better policy decisions and better political moves. Today we're talking about 1 week into the MOU between Raila, Odinga and William, now embracing the name Kasongo Ruto. This conversation I hope will help our politicians to understand what people want on the ground. Great to see you, sir. How are you doing last week? Oh man, last week, you on fire?
Was I?
You on fire?
Was I?
Blood-based. Hope we won't talk about blood today.
No, you see, I don't know. We must get some other phrase to refer to this government. It's still blood, but anyway, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Let's start with some of the reflections. What are some of the things you've been thinking about this particular week?
You know, Jed, I'm who you see. And I know sometimes people think that I'm very, very hard on my very good friend, William Samoei Ruto. Some think that I'm very hard. But the only difference between me and some of his so-called friends is that I'm truthful. I tell him the truth, and I tell him in broad daylight. And what I tell him today is what I'll tell him tomorrow. But let me say this. For the first time, I must acknowledge the fact that he has seen the mistake he had made on one of his policy pronouncements. You remember this Kenya Kwanza government had decided to be charging youth who are jobless, who have just come from school, who have nothing. They decided that they must pay 300 shillings to acquire an ID, which is a birthright, is a right. That is supposed to be funded by the exchequer. But this government wanted to raid pockets of the youth. I must acknowledge the fact that President Ruto yesterday saw the need, I think because of the pressure, so they need to, discontinue that, that tax, that charge of 300 shillings that our children don't have. So I must thank him, but he should go further. He should go further and eliminate marriage certificate. Our youth will not get married. If you must, they have nothing, they have no money, they are broke. Yeah? Wako mawaya. Even you, that's why you're not married.
Mawaya.
That's why you're not married.
Tuko mawaya.
And even Richard and the rest, and Ray, and you guys. Yes. Yeah. You probably take another 10 years before you give us grandchildren. It is not a good thing.
Marriage certificate.
Marriage certificate.
And the second one.
The other one is death certificate. When somebody is dead, the person is of no value, my friend. You want to tax a dead person? You know what we'll tell you? Keep your bloody paper. It is not even a better than toilet paper. So you can just say, okay, see the person is dead anyway. The only thing we can do is to intern the person. You keep that death certificate. So even that one, he should be bold enough and say that even this one, all those, marriage, ID, death certificate, and, those ones should be removed completely. And I can say, Jed, that we are the government in waiting. And the first executive order will be to remove all those charges. That will be the first executive order, because they are not necessary. We can run this country, we can run a government efficiently, effectively, with the taxes that are collected. Right. The second thing, I want to give him credit again, in his Tangatanga tours, in his Tangatanga tours of Nairobi City.
We're back to Tangatanga.
Yes, he's been Tangatangaring in the city.
Not development tours.
Which development? Tangatangaring.
Yeah.
So you see, in the Tangatangaring tours, he has at least today acknowledged the fact that evictions, evicting people of Nairobi from where they've been living for 2, 3, 4 decades without giving them an alternative is inhuman. So let us thank him and acknowledge the fact that he has seen his bad behaviors were leading him to a very dangerous place. And I think it is because of the reaction that he's meeting on the ground. Having said that, Jed, let me say this. This week, there are 2 reflections. The first one, and I want you to look for that, just short video on the progress that this 36-year-old Ibrahim Traore is making in Burkina Faso. Just play about 90 seconds of that video.
These vast fields, cultivated by none other than the nation's own prisoners. This is the leadership of President Captain Ibrahim Traore in action, a true visionary, a revolutionary. While some African nations are crying over the withdrawal of USAID, Burkina Faso is standing tall, harvesting its biggest yield ever. And who made this possible? The prisoners. Yes, under the brilliant leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore. Look at these farms. Look at the wheat, the potatoes, the avocados. This is a movement. This is a revolution. President Captain Ibrahim Traore has turned what was once a challenge into an opportunity. Other African leaders, where are you? Why are you not following this example?
He's doing a lot, Kisia. He's doing a lot.
Oh my boy. The young man is 36, a captain in the army. Very young, inexperienced. Look at what the man is doing. The first thing that he did when he took over, and that is what we call transformational leadership. The first thing he did was to say, you know what? No more buying of luxury vehicles for government officials, including me. I'll use this car so long as it can move me from point A to point B, okay? It's a 20, 30-year-old vehicle, but I'm okay. I'm there to serve people. I'm not there to live in opulence. If you want to live in opulence, then do business, make your money, and buy the motor vehicles that you want to buy. So a good example to follow for other African leaders. But let me say this, Jed. The most significant things that this young man has achieved in a period of 2.5 years, just like William Ruto, he is not on the rooftop. Okay? What has he done? Number one, within the 2.5 years, remember he's 36, William Ruto is about 57, 58. They have been both in power for 2.5 years. GDP growth from 18.8 billion US dollars. In 2 years, he has grown it to 22.1, a growth of about 20% in 2 years, or 2.5 years. In 2.5 years, he has been able to show IMF and other lending institutions that they are not required. Okay? He has told them to go, to basically pack off and go to hell. He has paid all local loans that were borrowed by previous administrations. When you come to production, he's been able to increase production, tomato production. He has actually even put up 2 huge processing plants. Okay? He has also, within the same period, he has actually set up a state-of-art gold mine. Now they are mining gold, they are processing their gold. They are no longer taking us, guys from France coming and carrying They are doing it in Burkina Faso in 2.5 years. Okay? In 2.5 years, Jed, the young man, has put up a cotton plant in that country. In 2.5 years, Jed,
Yes.
2.5 years, milk production has increased from 0.9 million metric tons, 0.9, to 1.1 million metric tons, an increase of 10%.
Yeah.
Jed, in 2.5 years, he has started building houses for his people, affordable houses, not through taxes.
Oh.
No, not through introducing a tax levy for
Yes.
housing. No, he is using the taxes being collected from Burkina Faso or from people of the Burkina Faso to build houses for people. Look at the difference, Jed. So when you talk about transformational leadership, this is the kind. And I think if you talk about benchmarking, then Kenya or the Kenya Kwanza government should actually go to Burkina Faso. Small country,
Yeah.
small GDP, but it is not the size that matters. It is the output of any enterprise that really counts. The efficiency of that enterprise. The second reflection, Jed. And this one, by now, if Kenyans were serious, if they're indeed serious, I don't know what they would have done. They would have chased the cabinet, everybody, they would have chased them out. They would have called them out. They would have killed them out. Jed, you remember about a year ago, at this same place, same spot,
Yeah.
we talked about our mission to Haiti.
Yes, we did.
You remember?
Yeah.
And we just called, we said that is human sacrifice. Sending our youth, our children, to Haiti on a mission that had nothing to do with Kenya. A mission that was only there to massage the ego of one individual. A mission that was only there to prove to Uncle Tom, his masters in the US, that he's also, he's a blue-eyed boy in Africa, the new boy on the block. This was a useless, completely mission that does not benefit Kenya. It does not benefit Africans. The Haitians had even said, please, you are brothers, don't come here. Let us sort out our problems ourselves.
Yeah.
But because President Ruto had been promised 20 billion shillings by the former regime, President Biden,
Yeah.
okay? I don't know whether he just saw money. He didn't see the safety of our youth. He just saw the money. But I want you to look for that video where police officers have been put in a room and they are ventilating about issues that are affecting them. And then, just contrast, compare. You are sending our boys to a foreign mission to sort out other people's problems. And yet you have serious problems in your own country. Look for that video. Just play the first 90 seconds.
And your wife is in the hospital. They have denied her chance to be admitted until you don't qualify. Yet here anaandika unlimited. Does he really understand the full meaning of the language unlimited? Then we must begin from the onset. We asked him, right now he's fighting for us to write a feedback. Do you know the secret behind that feedback? And that's why I asked him, how secured is your wall? That we are sure that this result or answers we are going to give will not be tampered with and be redirected. And your wife is in the hospital. They have denied her chance to be admitted until you don't qualify. Yet here anaandika unlimited. Does he really understand the full meaning of the language unlimited? Then we must begin from the onset. We asked him, right now he's fighting for us to write a feedback. Do you know the secret behind that feedback? And that's why I asked him, how secured is your wall? That we are sure that this result or answers we are going to give will not be tampered with and be redirected. That is what the pioneer did. The following day unasikia serikali imewapatia APA tena. Why? Because they tampered with our responses, which was denying their contracting. Now, who is writing anything down? I don't even see anybody noting the complaint, and you're telling us to bring you a complaint. I don't even see media here capturing or any media. So these things are going hot here. So you're playing with that picky ponky game here.
That's a police officer of there, Kisia. He's talking about social health insurance fund. He's saying these guys are called us to this meeting. They're not taking notes. Picky ponky, he says. Why are we reflecting on this one?
You see, Jed, other than that being a human sacrifice mission, in a country, Jed,
Yeah.
that we cannot even treat jiggers. And you know these jiggers kill people, Jed. They make you uncomfortable. Yet we want to spend 5 billion of our resources on a mission that is not going to benefit Kenya. Is somebody sick in the head? Jed, you have gone round. This young man who is going round from, I think from Rift Valley, can't remember his name. He's going round looking at the classrooms. Our children are learning under trees. Our children are learning under deplorable conditions. Very poor conditions. It is shameful. And we want to spend 5 billion shillings on a useless mission. And we have no classrooms for our children. Jed, we cannot pay in tons. They're asking for 200,000 in tons. That's about 2.5 billion shillings in a year for our interns. But we would rather spend that money on some bloody useless mission and not pay our interns. We cannot afford to pay our doctors well. We cannot paying our teachers well. We are not paying our police officers well. We are not paying our civil servants well. The only thing we are good at is stealing public resources. This is misdirect priority. And I think we need to be a bit serious on issues to do with governance. This is not the way to govern a country. And I must say, Jed,
Yes.
it is extremely shameful. It is ridiculous for a country to spend meager resources on things that don't really count and don't matter to its people. Finally,
Yes.
Jed, and I don't know why Kenyans are not angry at all, including you people in the media. Jed, surely, a president, you know, the presidency is not a production ministry. It does not produce anything. It doesn't. It's a consumption, unit. It consumes. It doesn't produce.
Yeah.
Okay. It is not like agriculture. It's not like health. It's not like internal security. It is just a consumption industry and a unit. In fact, that presidency, particularly in Kenya and in Africa, especially Kenya, is where just people go to get handouts. From a budget of the fiscal year 2023-2024 to 2024-25, that office is asking for an increase of over 300%. And Kenyans are not angry? And Kenyans are not calling out this man? Shame on this man. Shame on this government. It is so ridiculous that we cannot do the basics, take care of our children, provide medicine, and we want to be extravagant, spending public resources. If President Ruto is actually serious, he must review that budget request. It is abnormal. It is just shameful. How? This man who came from a very modest background now wants to live in largesse. He wants to live in opulence. It's shameful, Jed. Quickly, let me give you some two highlights before we get into the context.
Yeah.
The first highlight for this week, and I think it's important we look at highlights.
Yeah.
Because it's what has happened.
Yes.
The first one was the interview of my very good friend Justin Muturi, JB Muturi, on Citizen. And he gave an account of what has been happening in the Kenya Kwanza government. He has also told Kenyans why he has differed with President President Ruto. Okay? The things that are happening in this government are unbelievable. Abductions. And there are many. disappearance of our children, extrajudicial killings. And Justin is saying that, you know what, I had to confront our president. And I told him, you know what, I beg to be excused from cabinet sittings until this matter comes up as an agenda.
Yes.
Why am I bringing this as an highlight, Jed? How can Kenyans forget so soon, so easily, that we lost children? I think about 70 children.
Yes.
Lost, killed, murdered, shot. Bullets, live bullets. Okay? And there's no guarantee that it's going to stop. Our children are still being abducted. Okay? This is something that needs to be interrogated. And I want to agree with J.B. Muturi that there is under collective responsibility, under corporate responsibility, the cabinet shall be held to account jointly. Okay? And the entire cabinet of Kenya Kwanza, these are candidates of ICC. Because you cannot sit in a cabinet, because all the decisions pertaining to how government is run emanate from a cabinet. So you are held corporately responsible.
Yeah.
And if those who are still in cabinet don't see this as a reason to resign, then I can assure them, it may be now, it may be tomorrow, it may be in the future, but they can be rest assured they will answer questions as to how our children disappeared and what action they actually took. Kenyans need to be very angry. The last one, Jed.
Yes.
The issue of Sudan. Yeah, I mean, we talk about a sovereign state. Sudan is a sovereign state. Sudan is a member of AU. So is Kenya. In fact, Kenya has a seat. I think they chair something on reforms or something like that. Okay? How can you reform? How can you chair a committee on reform when you're interfering with other people's internal affairs? You have seen the repercussion.
Yeah.
You have seen what has happened. These guys have hit back, and they have said, with immediate effect, they are not going to allow our products into Sudan. What is going to happen? Loss of jobs, loss of income, okay? Loss of revenue to the government.
Yes.
Okay? And I said sometime, I think 2-3 weeks ago, I said, Jed, you know, when you're interfering with my internal affairs, you're coming to my house and interfering, it does not stop me from retaliating, because I reciprocate. That is diplomacy. If you slap me, I slap you. So now that they have accommodated RSF,
Yes.
you should not be surprised if the government of Sudan did the same and also accommodated.
Oh.
Yes, that's diplomacy. Jed, you slap me, I slap you. So Kenyans should be prepared for very hard times, going forward. There was no need to support an illegal outfit that is fighting a government that is recognized even by African Union.
So what are you saying? You're saying Sudan can actually accommodate enemies of our state?
It's diplomacy. Diplomacy is about reciprocation. You slap me, I slap you. In diplomacy, you are not slapped, and you saw how this guy fought back.
Yeah.
Even at his weakest point, the president of Ukraine,
Yes.
Zelensky, he said, "No, man, I'm not taking shit from you. You could be a superpower, but up yours, man." Let's get into context. Let's get into context.
Up yours, but let's get into context. But I want, as I mentioned earlier, it's about Raila-Ruto deal.
Yes.
And you've seen the influence Baba is losing in Kisia. You have seen what is happening in Nairobi. Ruto is trying to look at Baba's strongholds and make his development tours there. And you've also seen Kalonzo and Martha Karua on the opposition side talking about we still stand firm by claiming that Ruto is actually not supposed to be in office. What do you think about what is happening?
You know, Jed, even before we dive in, look for that Natembea video, because he captured, I think he must have listened to one of my interviews, and he captured the spirit.
Yeah.
I think it was about 45 seconds. Look for that video. He was addressing people of Trans Nzoia this week.
Mambo ya rais kwenda kutembea Nairobi kwenda kuambia watu tutaenda kuwatengenezea chapati, hiyo maneno ya kupati. Kama namna gani watu wetu? We want our president to be serious. Kwa sababu rais wetu anaongoza taifa linaitwa Kenya. Taifa ambalo linaaminiwa, ambalo linaheshimiwa. Akae kwa ofisi afanye kazi. Tusinde kila siku mnaona hako Nairobi, hako Mombasa, hako Kisumu, hako wapi. Anafanya kazi za ngapi?
You know, this week I said, I was asking a hard question.
Yes.
Questions that people have refused to ask. I asked the president,
yes,
what is your job description? What is your JD?
Yes.
Because I didn't want to get into details. I didn't want to make it complicated, like asking what's your job analysis. I would have confused him. So I asked him, what is your job description? Is the job description of a president sitting on the rooftop and telling you what he's supposed to do? Is that the job of a president? The job of a president is to sit in an office, do the work, and file reports. He doesn't even have to, we don't need those tours.
Yeah.
Those tanga tours need to stop. Okay? So, you know, and then, you know, he talked about even the Northern Collector water tunnel,
yes,
which I'm fully aware of, you know, which was started during my president's time.
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, with my president time. Yeah, my tweet. Yeah, my president time, and now implemented by Uhuru Kenyatta. At the tail end, he's coming and say, I know you people of Nairobi, there's a problem of water. I'm going to sort it out in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Shame on you. Shame on you, guy. Shame on you. Be serious. Kenyans are serious people. Don't treat us like little children. But anyway, let us say this. Again, I'm happy that even his own Senator Khalwale, my very good friend Khalwale reminded him, what you are doing is not even worth being done by an MCA. You know, running around, that's a job of an MCA. Okay? Or, you know, if you want to feed children,
yeah,
that's a job of a CEC.
He's giving
for health.
He's giving chapatis.
He has actually changed the whole, a serious job,
yeah,
into a chapati, you know, chapati tours. Yeah. Instead of being serious like a president. Okay? But anyway, you asked me whether there's going to be a shift in parliament.
Yes.
I don't know. I think you should be what you should be asking me, is there a shift on the ground? Because we have no parliament. I have told you before. Parliament is dead. It's kaput. We don't have a parliament. So, in fact, now, we have now changed from a parliament to a rubber stamp. Because now, even the few people who are in opposition have joined government. A mongrel, as once Ruto defined.
Yes.
So now even us, now the same question he was asking at Chatham is the same question I want to ask him. What's the difference between, we don't know, we are confused as well. We don't know the difference between government and opposition. Is now Raila the one running government, and now William Ruto has stepped into opposition? That question needs to be answered. So the shift, we should not be we should talk about the ground. I can tell you from where I'm sitting, the ground has shifted.
Is this what we
saw? The ground now has shifted. It has shifted towards, dovetailing towards who? Towards the loyal opposition.
Yeah.
It has shifted. And who is in the loyal opposition? We have people like Kalonzo Musyoka, we have Rigathi, we have Martha Karua, Eugene Wamalwa, Philip Kisia, and many other people who are in the loyal opposition. So the ground, up to 99%, has shifted. So we are happy that we shall provide leadership to the people, and we shall respond to the needs of the people. Now, we are not bothered with the few who are in parliament, who are in Senate, who are in the executive, whose sole purpose, whose sole purpose is to feed themselves, okay, enrich themselves, and avoid serving the people. So we are now more ready than ever before to now start addressing the challenges that are facing these people. But in the meantime, our strategy is to get rid, to completely get rid of William Ruto and team so that we can take over. Now,
I'll ask
Raila.
you how, but
no,
then
one
I want
second.
to talk about Kisia.
Let's talk about now Kisia Raila. You know, Jed, Raila, Kisi has always been Mzee's stronghold. Okay? But I want you to look for that video, Nani, Jed, look for that video.
Yeah.
Kisi. It's about 40 seconds.
That's Kisi. We are seeing Shaban, I think, FC fans over there saying Ruto must go, chanting Raila must step out of the stage. What is happening in Baba's strongholds?
You see, they are not angry with Baba. They are not. They still love Baba. People still love Baba because Baba is Baba. He's fought for democracy. He's against corruption. Okay? And even Baba affirmed it himself. He said, I'm still the same Baba. I've never changed. What people were, the message that was clearly being passed, and those are not Shabana supporters only. Those were Kenyans who reside in Kisi, who happened to be in the stadium at the time that Baba was coming. They were sending a clear message to Baba. They were telling Baba, we still love you, okay? But avoid immediately discontinue your relationship with that man. We want you to stop. Because if you don't stop, then we shall put you and that man in the same frying pan, fry you, okay, and fry you and boil you, okay, and send you where you're supposed to be sent. I don't know to say, I don't mention, because it's not a good place, okay. So that is a message, if you ask me, the message that was being passed. What people are saying, that this alliance that you have between President Ruto and yourself is unholy, and we don't approve it in total. That was the message that people in Kisi were passing, okay? It had nothing to do with Raila, okay? Because if they really didn't want Raila, they would have chased him out of the stadium. But they just walked away in protest, and they said, Mzee, we are walking away, we respect you, we still love you, but please declare your disassociation with this man with immediate effect. If you do not, then we have no option but to serve our links.
Do you think
that was the message?
Do you think he's losing those traditional strongholds that he had? Do you think this is the case? This is what is happening?
You see, Nani Jed, I will not say that he's losing. He has probably a few more weeks to redeem himself. A few more weeks to redeem himself. Come back. And I've said, Jed, the only job that Raila has right now is to midwife Kenya between now and 2027. So he should take that role. Let him take that responsibility to salvage his legacy. His continued association with President William Ruto,
your friend,
my good friend, will completely destroy him. I've said this, and I've said this, I'm saying this with a lot of honesty, and I say this with a lot of respect and humility. That is my advice to the old man.
Do you think...
So, you know, if they really had a serious problem, they would have stoned him. They would have stoned him. He would have done nothing. You know, when you have about 2,000-3,000 people in a stadium, 5,000 people, it doesn't matter who you are, even if you have Reka squad, they stone you. And you have seen what happened in Nairobi. I mean, the Wananchi can take charge.
let me
and when they take charge, my brother, when they take charge, it doesn't matter whether you have Reke or not, they can overrun Reke, these people. They will overrun.
Do you think we'll get there before 2027?
The signs are not good. The signs are terrible.
Okay.
The signs are terrible.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Baba will leave Ruto before 2027? You've seen his clarification this week, saying it is Ruto who looked for me, talking about I'm still fighting for the issues of Kenya, from SHA to taxes. What is the likelihood of him, the ODM in general, leaving UDA merger?
You know,
Pact.
you know, Baba is a smart politician. And Baba is already sensing the mood of the people. You know, Baba thought that maybe people would forgive William, that he can salvage him. Yeah? Baba even took the only life jacket he had, the only one, and gave it to William Ruto.
Yeah.
Now Baba has no life jacket. We are, you know, just because we are loyal soldiers, foot soldiers, we quickly look for another one and pass it to him. We want him to use that life jacket,
Yeah.
okay, to salvage his legacy, okay? If he doesn't, he'll have nobody to blame.
He has to.
He has to. I can tell you, Jed, the way people are charged, you know, it was a Gen Z movement. Now Gen Z, I can see them reorganizing themselves. I can see Kenyans getting a bit more angry. You know, when you have children, and as a parent, and they just walk away from you,
Yeah.
the next thing is that they'll slap you. You know, they give that respect. They just say, "Any Aizuru, let us just walk. For now, let's just walk away."
Yeah.
But you keep on with your bad behavior, watakunyorosha.
That is what will happen.
Watakunyorosha. Yes, I can tell you, Jen. I'm a parent. I'm a grandfather. I can tell you.
And you can see it.
I can see these children. Watakunyorosha.
So
They say
Baba,
this mzee.
Yeah.
Wait, mzee. And let me refer to myself. Wait, mzee. Baba, babu.
yeah.
Baba, babu. We've been asking him to stop this bad behavior and you have refused.
Yeah. But you haven't told me, what is the likelihood of it happening?
Of ODM leaving and Baba leaving this man
Yes.
under the bus?
Yes.
Oh, the chances are, I can tell you 101%.
He will.
You have to tell me, Baba you know, Baba cannot change. You can't change somebody after 40 years.
Yeah.
Fighting for democracy. The man has been in detention.
Yes.
William has not even stepped in a cell, I doubt. This man has been in detention. He has been detained several times. You will see him wasting those 40 years just because of William Ruto. I can tell you. And it will not take too long before Baba abandons him. Because on the other side, you have somebody who cannot change. He will not change.
Yeah.
In fact, you can now see, you know, he's coming up the oomph. You know, he had been put in a corner,
Yes.
like a cat that has been rained on.
Yeah.
But now, you know, he's flexing his two muscles.
Yes.
He's flexing kidogo, coming out. But I think at the right time,
Yes.
at the right time, and very soon, I see Baba abandoning him and running away. Because you see,
Yeah.
what does he gain? There are two sides. Destroying his legacy for 4 decades, okay, or salvaging it. Which one? Any man with even an average brain, what
Yes.
will you do? Average brain, what will you do? Keep, ruin yourself, or salvage?
You salvage, obviously.
Of course.
Now, I want us to talk about UDA. We have seen the ouster of Ndindi Nyoro. This is 1 week into the UDA-ODM pact. What do you think about it? Do you think there are some power dynamics in UDA that we do not see? Because now it's Samuel Atandi leading a budgetary committee. Do you think there's something happening in UDA, or as many claim, this is just a ploy, Ndindi Nyoro to be put in place to spoil votes in Mount Kenya? What do you think is happening there?
You see, Ndindi, first of all, let me congratulate Atandi for being appointed, budget committee chair. Okay? And I know he's up to the task. He's a good man. Okay? He's an expert. And I am sure he'll do the job. So I have no doubt. So he's not there because he's from Luoland or from ODM. I think he deserves it. Atandi. He deserves it.
Don't you think it's because of
He
this
deserves
merger
it.
simply?
He deserves it.
It's because UDA is
Whether
working
he's merger or not, he
Yeah.
deserves it. He's a Kenyan. Okay? And a Kenyan who can deliver.
Okay.
But if you ask me, I don't think William Ruto has done this because he loved doing it. He is making every step because of his personal survival. Okay? It is easier to sacrifice a principled person like Ndindi Nyoro. I've seen people accusing Ndindi Nyoro, saying, oh, you know, we must remove him because he is allocating himself more money in his constituency, Kiharu. The same characters, they are the ones who passed the budget. Were they blindfolded when they were passing? Or is it that they don't have capacity to interpret the budget?
Yeah.
Okay? So they are using some flimsy reasons to get rid of Ndindi Nyoro. But I can say there are no dynamics in UDA. UDA is William Ruto, is one person.
Yeah.
Okay? He does what he wants. So it is expedient upon him to deal with people who appear to be aligned to Gachagua. Get rid of them, because they're already aligned anyway. They are no longer with you. And bring in people who can salvage you. So the people who have been brought in, like Atandi, but as I've said that, you know, I don't doubt his competence. He has been brought in not to do the job, because the jobs are being done from State House. All the jobs, parliamentary committees, I don't know, budget committees, I don't know, cabinet, all the decisions on how this country is governed emanate from State House. So these people are just figureheads. So you're asking me dynamics. There are no dynamics, Jed. This is a one-man guitar band. One-man guitar. Yeah. He plays. In fact, even there's no audience. He's listening to himself.
So you don't believe that UDA, there's anything happening
Nothing.
in UDA now that
What is UDA?
removed?
You tell me. You've heard several times Gachagua telling, even in cabinet, nobody talks. They are like boo-boos. They're boo-boos. They don't talk. They are boo-boos. Okay? Now, if cabinet, you have a flag and you can't talk, what about a party member? So I'm telling you, there are no dynamics.
Yeah.
It's a one-man guitar.
Do you think there's any truth to what Kenyans are saying, that Ndindi Nyoro is being put into place so that he can split votes in Mount Kenya?
You see, Ndindi would not be that stupid. And even if that was a strategy, it's a very useless strategy. Because the ground has shifted. Deal with the ground. Deal with the ground. Forget about Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro, deal with the ground. The ground is one which has rejected you.
Yes.
Okay? Millions of people have rejected you. Ndindi Nyoro must follow the people. Otherwise, even he'll be swept. He'll be swept.
If he doesn't follow the people.
He'll be swept. He must go with the people. So telling me, Jed, that Ndindi Nyoro, you know, there's a strategy to split the Mount Kenya vote. How can he split any vote? You are either with them or you are not with them.
So tell me this, though.
So it is up upon him.
Yes.
And I doubt whether Ndindi is a stupid fellow, that he'll want to sacrifice his career because of William Ruto. In any event, William Ruto is a one-term president. We are sending him home. If he's lucky, 2027, I can see him struggling through his proxies to extend the term to 7 years. There's nothing like that. He should be prepared to go home in 2.5 years or less.
You know, when you talk about 7 years of his term, I'm thinking about Parliament. And I'm thinking about this system of checks and balances. I'm thinking about opposition. I'm thinking about the influence of policy decisions. Now that UDA and ODM are working together, do you think there is any way that there will be checks in this government, even considering the loyal opposition that you are spearheading as the executive director of Azimio?
You mentioned Azimio. You know, Azimio now, my job was to, I'm a mortician.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came in as a mortician. I'm about to complete my job.
You're saying what you're saying?
Yes.
You're saying what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm about to complete my job. We must come up with a new outfit that has been approved by the Kenyan people. So we are consulting.
In simple ways, as
we are consulting so that we form a loyal coalition that responds to the needs of the Kenyan people. But back to your question. I've said that we don't have a parliament, so we should not even talk about oversight.
Yes.
What oversight are you talking about? When almost everybody is on one side,
Yeah.
apart from the loyal. The people the Tumbocrats are on one side. And there are a number of them, the Tumbocrats. The ones who are sending home in 2027, they're in one basket. The loyal people who are serving the Kenyans
Yes.
are on one side. Those are assured of getting another term. Okay? So I mean, there's nothing like oversight. In fact, the only check now we have is a controller of budgets, okay, and auditor general. And that is why these two women, beautiful women, women of valor, women of God, yeah,
You prayed for them last week.
I prayed for them.
Yeah.
And I keep on praying for them. That's why they're under heavy attack. Because they are their last defense. Other than the judiciary, they are the last defense. Okay? So they must be dealt with using brutal force. But I can tell you, they will not succeed. So having said that, Jed, that this,
Yes.
we don't expect any oversight from this house, this
What
house
can you do?
that has been castrated. It was actually it's a dead horse. It's a dead horse.
Castrated dead horse.
Dead. It's
Yeah.
dead. We don't expect much. So what we are doing, because if you look at the Constitution, I think it's Article 2, sovereign powers are where?
With the people.
Sovereign powers are?
With the people.
So what we are doing, we are just going back to the people.
Yes.
And saying the taxes are yours, the country is yours, everything is yours, everything belongs to the Kenyan people.
Yeah.
You can even decide to remove William Ruto now. You don't have to wait for 27. So what the checks and balance now, other than those two women and a few, is the people of Kenya. So as the loyal opposition, we go where back? We are going back. We are going back to the people. They are the ones who will do the final checks. And their eyes are open. And that's why they're asking questions. And that's why you can see a lot of petitions when they attempting to, to change the parliamentary term from 5 to 7 years. We are chonjo. And we're going to deal with them, Jed.
Through the people.
We're going to deal with them.
Maybe finally we can talk about what has been happening in Nairobi. Now Ruto has been in Kibra, he's been in Mathare, and he even in Dagoretti. And what he has been doing, has been talking about what he'll do in government. These are development tours. Do you think these meetings have been successful? And from where you sit, do you think they would have happened how they have been happening without this Ruto-Raila Pact?
Yes, there's a disapproval video where Wananchi are saying, Wananchi know that there's a hotel. Just look for that video. They're saying, we know this is a hotel. Yeah, and the hotel is in a temporary structure. So we want to eat our things now, our matumbo, boiro, everything. We want to eat now. Look for that one.
This is Wananchi. They're saying wanataka pesa.
Yes.
Is this the situation?
Because they know. Those are not genuine fellows. No, they're genuine Kenyans. They're
Yes.
beautiful Kenyans.
Yes.
They know what's happening. They know that this is a shack. It's a temporary thing. And there's food there. There's money that they are stolen from the public. It's our money. There's everything there. We must get our share.
Okay.
That's what Wananchi are saying. So they are not even bothered with the tours, the Tanga tours. They are not bothered.
You're still calling them Tanga tours.
They are not bothered.
Yes.
In any event, those tours don't add value to anything. Do they add any value? Do they? Are they adding value? They don't add value.
Even politically,
They
for
don't
Ruto,
add any value to
even
anything.
politically for
They
Ruto.
don't add value to anything. The ground has shifted. You are not going to the people, not to tell them, not to commission projects,
launch.
but to launch projects and relaunch projects. You are not going to commission. You are actually going to tell them, you are going to describe your job. You are telling them, you are describing your job. The job they have given you, you have signed for it. You are describing it. Is that the job we have given you? The job we have given you is that You have signed for the job. Please, for heaven's sake, do the job. But now that you have failed to do the job, you are just on the rooftop. My position is that Kenyans, they know that is a temporary hotel. Kuleni your pesa. Actually eat properly. And I thank those young men. Yeah, you know, these are board members.
Yeah.
They are board members. If President Ruto can go to a church and give out 20 mic,
Yes.
Jed, 20 mic, just like that, like tissue paper, 20 mic. My boys in Nairobi, nyinyi vijana, boss, you are board members. Kila mtu 20K, kila mtu 20K. And that money must be paid before you go for the job. Please make sure you collect that money in advance. Because these are not trusted people. You've seen, you do the job and then they take off.
1 week into the MOU, you still stand with that Ruto might actually be deserted by Raila.
Oh yeah.
It won't
You wait. You wait. We are still here. Just pray God that nothing happens. And you'll see. I'm telling you, Jed.
Yes.
Raila is a smart man. He will not be there for too long.
Thanks for tuning into that conversation. 1 week into the MOU. Do you think it'll last? Final remarks, Kisia, as we are heading over for the weekend.
Well, Jed, you know, it is so embarrassing. And I'm requesting my president and my good friend to stop this absurdity. People are talking big things. You've seen Ibrahim Traore doing big things.
Yes.
And our president talking about chapatis. Chapati. A whole president.
Yes.
A whole president.
Yeah.
Not even an MCA, a president. I'm asking my president to be a little bit more serious.
Yes.
Because this way, the small respect that people had left for him is diminishing at a very fast rate. And, you know, he's doing it as a joke, saying, okay, now,
El Chapo.
El Chapo, hata nimekubali. Tomorrow they'll call you other things that you will be shocked when they start calling you.
Oh.
The things they'll do to you. Because he's now encouraging them.
He's embracing the Kasongo.
He's encouraging. Oh, no, he's encouraging them. Both the things that these people do to him. And then, you know, in fact, if you're talking about, you know, the health, the diet of our children in school,
Yes.
why not give them waru, more nutritious? Why not give them fruits? Why not give them milk like Moi did? You are not even born. You didn't know.
I was born.
You are not even there. You are not even there.
I was there.
You are not even there. You are not. No, yeah. You are not in the mix, Jed.
You are not nutrition. Enough about me.
So, Jed,
yes.
So, finally, Jed, I appeal to our people of Nairobi.
Yes.
You've seen the president going around describing his job. He has left it, in fact, because he does not have powers to allocate money. He doesn't have the powers. The money is allocated in parliament. So if it has been allocated, he should not be reminding us that the money is allocated. That is not his job. He has no business. That's a job of an MP, and you know. So when you are called for these jobs, don't cause distraction. Don't be misled to cause destruction business, to harm your fellow wananchi, to harm your brothers, to harm your sisters, to harm your parents. They are just suffering like you. The people who you must be going for, you know them. They are the people who are inviting you for those rallies. Ask them to give you, to pay you for a job, a day's job. And a day's job, my people, machali wa mtaa, machali wa nai, hapa nai, 20K per day, 20K, kila mtu 20.
Yeah.
Na ipatiwe mbele ya kwenda kazini. Kwa sababu hao ni wakora. Mkishafanya kazi, wanatoweka, wanapotea. Na wakikataa hao jamaa, muwapatie akuchu. Unajua akuchu?
Akuchu.
Akuchu. Wapate akuchu. Wapate akuchu. So Jed,
yes,
please, Mr. President, spare us this embarrassment of reducing yourself to a chapati man. Do serious things like the young man in Burkina Faso, Traore.
Yes.
And get off the rooftop from your motor vehicle. Go in the office like Kibaki, and even the young man, and you know the young man is my age mate, Uhuru Kenyatta did.
Yes.
At least he was in the office. You used to accuse him that, that him, he takes what I normally take.
Yes.
And therefore he oversleeps.
Yes.
But at least he was in the office. Even if it's 2-3 hours.
Yes.
You are on the rooftop. On the rooftop. How can you even write a letter? How can you sign a document on the rooftop? Get off, man. Get out. Go and do your work.
That is Philip Kisia and Philip Kisia Unscripted this particular Friday. Thanks for tuning into this conversation. Of course, these are conversations with a truthful man. Philip Kisia says the truth as he says it. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Share this video with as many people as possible. Kisia, you're wrapping up. Unapotea.
Mimi lazima nipotee bwana.
Thanks for tuning in Friday. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house. This is not for going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post-Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.